Hey guys, Ryan here for Bender Wins. Hope everyone's doing well today. Here with your daily free picks. All right, guys, so I have 3 plays for you guys today. We got hockey, college football, and a little bit of college basketball as well. Masterclass, we have another very busy day coming up. Same thing, we got hockey, college football, college basketball, and some NBA. 10 additional plays in Masterclass. However, one game has 3 separate plays on it, so we're trying to maximize value on one specific game in the NBA. If you're interested in Masterclass, benderwins.com. It's $99 a month, guys. Get you my full card every single day. Now that I've done my little spiel, my little promo for Masterclass, let's talk about how Masterclass did yesterday. We went 1-5. Yes, 1-5. Not exactly a good advertisement for why you should join Masterclass. The reality is we're having a good year. That does not change yesterday's results of 1-5. I do want to talk a little bit, guys, about simplifying sports betting and the simplicity of ultimately what we are trying to do here, okay? So at the end of the day, all you're trying to do as a professional sports bettor, your only real goal is just to identify value in the lines. That's it, okay? You can't go out there and you can't play the games. You know, you can't go and play net. You can't put yourself in at a running back and try to get 1 yard. You can't go in as a point guard and try and hit that 3-pointer at the end to win it. You can't do it. All you can do is try to identify value, okay? Now, if we really take this in a simplified form and we say, what is the most simplistic way that we can look at identifying value, okay? It's beating the closing line. Now, I've talked about this many times before on the channel. Now, here's the weird thing, guys, and often I try to give you guys all the answers. Sometimes I have them, sometimes I don't. This is one of those times where I'm a little bit stumped because here is the reality of the last 30 days. And 2021 as more of a, or less of a microcosm, I should say, but we've beat the closing line in the last 30 days an unbelievable 78.7% of the time. 78.7% of the time, we beat that closing line. Now, when Vegas moves a line, it's an acknowledgement that the line is off, okay? If Vegas gets 80% of the money on one side, and they like that side, they won't move the line. They will not move the line for the public. There's not many people in this world that can move lines, okay? The reality of the situation is just that. And some people suggested, well, look, yeah, lot of new Masterclass members, so you're moving the lines. Well, look, let's be honest, guys. Steve Stevens and Vegas Dave and what's that other idiot that always calls me, whatever his name is. But these guys got thousands of people on the hook, and they're not moving the lines, okay? The lines do not move for these guys. There's very, very few people in this world that can move lines. I feel blessed and fortunate that I happen to be one of those people that can move lines. Typically, when you're beating the closing line, it's an indication that you have found value, okay? If I have a year where I beat the closing line 58% of the time, I know I'm going to have a good year. I know I'm going to have a good year beating closing line, 57. It's almost a certainty that I'm going to have a winning year, and I should be winning, 54, 56% in around that range. That would be fantastic. Now, if I had a year where for an entire year I beat the closing line at 60%, I'm probably going to have pretty close to a record year. Here's the interesting thing about 2021. We're almost done. And to this date, I have beat the closing line 65.39%. 65.39% versus the closing line. It's a good year. It's not a record year. And that's unusual because I would not expect to see a 10% gap between beating the closing line and the true win percentage. And certainly when I look at a month like December, where we beat the closing line at 78.7%, and we have a 54% win percentage. So it's a 24.7% difference between the percentage of time we beat the closing line and our actual win percentage, which is an unbelievable statistical anomaly. Now, what should your win percentage be at 78.7% beating the closing line? And here's where I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know, because I've never done it. I've never done it. I've never had an entire month where I beat the closing line at 78.7%. I've never done it. Probably never do it again. What would I expect it to be? I'd expect it to be probably the greatest month that I ever had in the history of sports betting. And instead, I won 54%. I don't really have any other further explanation. All I can say is what I'll continue to do is try to identify value and try to beat the closing line, okay? I've talked about this before on videos, guys, where I've said to you guys, sometimes if you're going through losing streaks and you're, trying to figure out what you're doing wrong, look at yourself against the closing line. How often are you beating the closing line? That is your true score indicator of how you're doing. If you're taking bets and you're losing value because the line's going the other way, then you're not doing a good job. But if you're taking bets and you're beating the closing line by, half a point, 1 point, in some cases 2-3 points, then you're doing well, okay? And I mean, the results will follow. I'll give you a prime example. I had a play yesterday I absolutely loved, Yale and St. Mary's, under 130. We got them under 130. The line closed at 128, 2 full points of value in that game. And St. Mary's ended up shooting like 60% for the game, and it was a complete blowout. Was it a bad play? No. We smashed the closing line. We found value. And I know there's people out there that will not understand the mathematical side of what it is that I do. And I know that I can't explain to some people why sometimes picks that lose are still good plays. And vice versa, where I would have plays that sometimes win that turn out to be not the greatest plays on earth. So at the end of the day, guys, what you have to do is you have to just continue to try to find value, and you hope that that value turns into wins, because we don't get to go out on the field and play these games. All we get to do is identify value. And that in its most simplistic form is what sports betting is. So I would love to give you guys an explanation why, we're hitting 78.7% or we're beating the closing line at 78.7%, but we're only winning 54%. Again, Vegas does not move the line lightly. They don't just because the public's betting aside, they don't move the line lightly. There's not a ton of people in this world that can move actual Vegas lines. Okay. There just isn't. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. I've tried in the past to be somewhat modest in terms of what I do, but I beat Vegas year in and year out. And I've earned that respect that when I bet, that's steam. And you know what? When I'm on a side and I get heavy on a side, the lines move. And that's a reality situation. And right now, Masterclass, I can't even begin to imagine how many millions or tens of millions of dollars we've taken off Vegas this year. So yeah, we move lines. But when we're beating the closing line at this high a clip, it's unusual not to see a winning percentage that would be tailing by 5 or 10%. So like I said, what would my expectation be if you said to me, Bender, 100%, you're going to beat the closing line at 78.7%. I probably would have gone out and bought myself maybe like a new yacht or something like that, because I'm going to have a record month instead of hitting 54%. So I'm going to continue to do exactly what I'm doing, and that's it. All right, guys. So let's talk about today. I got 3 plays for you guys. First off, we're going to start in hockey. We are going to go with Anaheim moneyline minus 105. Going to take the Ducks minus 105. Got a couple systems on this one. Come in with a nice 8.9 and 10.4% ROI. Anaheim minus 105. 1 unit, by the way. Next, guys, Football, we are going to go with Iowa State +2. Iowa State +2. Earlier game, I ended up laying off Virginia Tech. I had a slight lean towards Virginia Tech in the earlier game. Like the entire world seems to be on Maryland. Like it's just a big, massive love fest on Maryland. There's some sharp money on both sides. I decided the best thing to do is just lay off that game. But I don't know. I personally, it's not like, I had a love affair taking Virginia Tech. There's nothing on this earth that would make me take Maryland. Let me put it that way. So what we do have, guys, we are going to go, we're going to go with Iowa State +2. Got a couple systems on here, bowl systems. One comes in at a nice 60% range. The other one, 66%. But again, you are dealing with smaller sample size because we're talking about bowl games. I do like Iowa State. Money distribution, it was looking a little bit better earlier. Okay, it has gotten away a little bit in terms of the amount of money. There's sharp money coming in left, right, and center on Iowa State. There's only 28% of bets. It was about 40% of money. It's now up to 63% of money, but the percentage hasn't changed that much. Now, what does that tell you? Okay. And this is something you can track and you can take a look at and you can kind of see this stuff. But, if you see a percentage of bets only goes up, 1 or 2%, but then the percentage of money goes up, 10, 15%. What does that tell you? That tells you that some absolutely massive syndicate level bets have come in on that side. Because that's the only way you can have such a small decrease versus a big decrease. That is huge chunks of massive bets, probably in the hundreds of thousands of dollars range at multiple books. So that usually indicates a syndicate all going boom, 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 hitting money, okay? So the money distribution, it's over 50%, so it's not perfect, but it is definite indication of where the sharp money is on this side. We're gonna go with Iowa State +2. 1 unit. All right. Finally, guys, we're going to do a half unit play in college basketball. Game 690. SMU and Tulsa under 143. SMU Tulsa under 143. Half unit play. All right, guys. So that's it for free picks today. We'll see you guys again tomorrow. Again, when you're betting on sports, guys, you're always going to be doing this. Okay. It's never just that straight line up. It's why I always talk about bankroll management. And at the end of the day, all you are doing is trying to identify value. Okay, so really, as a sports bettor, guys, and if you're aspiring to be professional, if you're semi-pro, or maybe you are a professional already, you just want to continue to grade yourself against how you do against the closing line. There's not much you can really do to impact the outcome of a game, short of going in the stands and blowing a whistle like they did in the basketball game the other day, which I thought was funny, or running on the field and tackling a guy in a breakaway. Outside of that, we're just along for the ride here. So beat the closing line, find the value, and the money will come. All right, guys, that's it for us today. Thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. And as always, guys, have a very lucky day, and bye for now.